U.S. track star Sha'Carri Richardson apologizes to Christian Coleman after arrest. U.S. track and field star Sha'Carri Richardson publicly apologized to Christian Coleman after she was arrested at the Seattle Tacoma International Airport last month for domestic violence. "I apologize to Christian. He came into my life and gave me more than a relationship, but a greater understanding of unconditional love from what I've experienced in my past. Due to past trauma and pain," Richardson wrote on Instagram. "I was blind and blocked off to not only receive it but give it. I love him, and to him I can't apologize enough. My apologize, sick, should be just as loud as my actions, honestly louder. To Christian, I love you, and I am so sorry." Police say Coleman was the victim in the incident, according to the police report obtained by USA Today Sports. Coleman told reporters at the U.S. Track and Field Championships that he forgave Richardson for the incident. "For me personally, I feel like it was a sucky situation all round," Coleman said Sunday. "I don't feel like she should have been arrested. I mean, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. She has things that she needs to work on for herself, of course. So do I, so do you, so does everybody. But I'm the type of guy who's in the business of extending grace and mercy and love." Richardson and Coleman both competed at the U.S. Track and Field Championships following her arrest. The world had watched her rise. Orange hair blazing like wildfire, nails longer than a piano key's reach, confidence as loud as her starting block stomp. Sha'Carri Richardson was unapologetically herself. But fame has its shadows, and Sha'Carri, like many stars before her, found herself caught in one. It wasn't the first time her name made headlines for something off the track. But this time, it hit differently. The arrest. It happened on a Tuesday. Rain slicked the streets of Dallas, the city groaning with heat and sirens. Sha'Carri was pulled over for speeding, an impulsive act that turned into something bigger when the officer smelled marijuana in the car. She was arrested, booked, and released within hours, but the damage was done. Again, her name was tied not to her sprinting ability, but to scandal. The media pounced. Sha'Carri Richardson, another fall from grace? Talent or trouble? Repeat offender or misunderstood icon? She tried to block it out, tried to run from the noise the way she ran from competition. But even at her speed, some things caught up. One headline stood out among the rest. Christian Coleman comments, "Discipline wins more than speed." That one stung. The rivalry. She remembered Tokyo, how she never made it, disqualified after testing positive for marijuana in 2021. Meanwhile, Christian Coleman had his own fall from grace a year before, suspended for missing drug tests. Not failing them, but missing them. Still, he too had been judged, dismissed, dragged through the mud. And yet, here he was, back on top. World indoor champion, back in the mix, rebuilt from his mistakes. His comment wasn't cruel. It wasn't even personal. But it was real. And that's what hurt. The apology. The hallway outside the USATF training facility in Eugene, Oregon, smelled of eucalyptus and rubber soles. Sha'Carri paced it like it was a runway. Her hair tied back, nails clipped short this time. She was stripped down in every way, style, ego, pride. Christian walked out of the locker room, wearing black Nike slides and earbuds in. When he saw her, he stopped, one earbud out. "What's up?" he asked. She didn't know what to say at first. "I read what you said," she started. "About discipline." He shrugged. "It wasn't aimed at you." "Didn't have to be. I felt it." Christian nodded slowly, crossing his arms. "Then maybe you know how I felt when I got suspended. Everyone was quick to judge, even teammates." Sha'Carri looked down, then back at him. "I did that. I judged you. I talked mess. Publicly. Privately. I was wrong." Christian's brow lifted slightly, surprised. "I thought you got off easy," she continued. "Missing tests, but still running. Meanwhile, I lit a blunt after my mom died and got crucified. I held on to that. Resented you." He didn't interrupt. He just let her talk. "But now, after all the stuff I've done since this arrest, the noise, the setbacks, I get it. You were hurting too. And I'm sorry I didn't see that. I'm sorry I added to it." She paused, heart beating louder than it had in any 100-meter final. I'm sorry, Christian. A long silence. Then Christian leaned back against the wall, nodding slowly. That takes guts, Sha'Carri. She exhaled, unsure if that meant forgiveness. You're right. We both messed up, he said. Difference is, you're owning it. Most people never do. There was a pause before he added, You ready to let go of the narrative? She tilted her head. What narrative? That you're just the rebellious star, the wild child of track and field. You ready to be more than that? Her voice cracked with honesty. Yeah, I'm tired of running from who I could be. The turning point. Their handshake that day wasn't filmed. No cameras. No hashtags. Just two athletes, two humans, sharing something rare in their world grace. Word of their conversation leaked eventually, as it always does. But the story this time was different. Less drama. More depth. She's turning a page, Christian told a reporter weeks later. And I support her. It wasn't a PR stunt. It was something real. And fans felt it. Sha'Carri returned to the track, with less flash, more focus. Her new coach had her running hill sprints at dawn. No makeup, no lashes, just sweat and silence. Reporters still asked about the arrest. About Coleman. About her past. She didn't dodge it anymore. I made mistakes, she'd say. I hurt people. But I'm not stuck in those moments. The comeback. The Olympic trials came fast, as they always do. The stadium pulsed with nervous energy. Lanes painted like destiny. Cameras zoomed in on her face. Sha'Carri stood at the starting blocks, next to some of the fastest women in the country. The gun fired, and she ran. Not to escape, not to prove a point, but to be free. 10.71 seconds. A new personal best. The crowd roared. Later, in the press room, a reporter asked, You've apologized publicly and privately. Do you think people have forgiven you? Sha'Carri smiled. It's not about them forgiving me. It's about me forgiving myself. And running forward. Epilogue. Months later, during the Paris Olympics, Sha'Carri and Christian both stood on the medal podium. Her for the 100m. Him for the 60m indoor exhibition. Their stories, once parallel but divided by resentment and judgment, had intertwined again. Not by scandal, but by growth. After the medal ceremony, a fan caught a photo of them laughing together. The caption went viral. From rivals to redemption. And somewhere in the noise of the internet, someone commented,